Oh, hey, we're live, everybody. Welcome. And tonight is Sci-Fi Sunday, and I am joined here by some awesome people. You guys see me hanging out with these folks all the time. And here they are. They're my great friends. I got my good pal, Trenchy from Soulless Trenchcoat right over here. I got my other good friend, Marty from the Trash Picture Show. And my other good pal, the wonderful Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave in the corner there. And yeah, she's in heaven right now. That's why you got like a kaleidoscope angel view.
No, come back.
I think they put me in the wrong place, Ethel.
But tonight we're going to be talking about probably one of the least, maybe not the least talked about, but the most overshadowed of the kaiju movies, as far as when it comes to the big three. We are going to be talking about Mothra from 1961. Yeah, guys, have you seen this movie?
Once
No. I saw it a while back. I probably seen Mothra versus Batra versus Godzilla more. But I did see this one, and I enjoyed it because Mothra, unlike the other kaiju, like there's no maliciousness in her. She's just trying to save her two little friends in the conch shell. That's like, you know, she's a benevolent kaiju. She's not like a fucking, she's not a monster. She's just trying to protect her two little kind of sinning conch shell fairies. Oh, that's what you call them.
Yeah, the twin beauties, the Shobijin. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but or if you look at the more recent ones, the Elias or Cosmos. They keep changing the names of the twin beauties, the fairies.
aren't they evil depending on what movie you're watching? Can't the fairies be somewhat evil as well, or more mischievous maybe?
There's all right. Well, in the newer movies, because later on in the 90s, they had the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy, where they had that's when they started calling them the Elias, I think, or is it the Cosmos? I get it mixed up. But anyway, that was like the third time they changed the name, and they introduced another fairy who was evil, who rode like a little dragon, and the Mothra fairies rode a smaller version of Mothra, and it was weird. I don't know. I like those movies, but I like the original ones better. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I grew up with it, and it was less. I don't know. It was less kids fair, and it was more like traditional kaiju style stuff. You know, where it's like the whole family. But
very cool.
Yeah, no, it's usually they're just innocent and they're victims and they're getting stolen away from their island, which is what prompts Mothra in this film. Basically, some scientists go to they go to Infant Island, but if you watch the American version, it's Beirut Island. I don't know why they changed the name. They just did. It's kind of strange they did that. And they go there to rescue a shipwrecked crew, and they think that they'd be irradiated and really sick with radiation poisoning because they've been doing nuclear testing near the island. But surprise, the crew is fine. They're healthy. They're not radioactive at all. They're not glowing in the dark. And they say that that they're not radioactive because the natives fed them juice.
Okay.
And
that's how you do the radioactive. Cool. Good to know.
So if you crash land from your ship, onto a radioactive island with natives, they will feed you special juice that will make you not get radiation poisoning.
See, and whenever you're on an island or an indigenous population, usually they want to cannibalize and eat you. Those are the movies I watch. So it's nice to know there's some good people that'll take away your radiation. That's pretty cool.
It's great because the island. Say what?
Was the juice sunny, D?
Well, the movie never tells you. It never tells you. It's just the natives. It must be the juice that the natives gave us. The natives gave us juice. That's the line.
Is there iodine coming out of the core of this island that they're mixing with the Sunny D? Yes. Werewolf in New Jersey. I am confused, but again, I remember seeing this, and I remember just a quick interjection, Ethel, because you're the expert in the crew. Would you say this was Toho's attempt at doing kind of a softer, more family-friendly kaiju movie, or had kind of Godzilla's kind of silly escapades had come out at this time, or was this the first kind of more family-friendly kaiju movie?
Well, this was Ashiro Honda's attempt at making a more family-oriented kaiju movie, because they'd come out with Godzilla, and they'd come out with was it The Return of Godzilla, or the second one? It's got a couple different names. It's also known as Gigantus the Fire Monster if you get one of the VHS releases. But I don't know. Weird film titles aside, they came out with that one, and then they came out with King Kong versus Godzilla, and this was sort of like splitting the difference.
Very cool.
Okay.
And it was another way for Ashiro Honda to sort of tell that story of the evil of modern society, and then the foisted upon the brotherhood of man.
Gotcha.
Good one.
Which is a popular theme of his. But it's kind of cool. The natives are very peaceful on the island, even though they're a bunch of Japanese guys in blackface, which is kind of like nowadays not socially acceptable. But hey, it was 1961, guys, and it was Japan, and you're on an island that's very xenophobic, and you need some islanders, and you don't want them to look Japanese. And you've only got so much for money. What are you going to do?
Blackface!
Blackface. I mean, it is what happens. It happened in King Kong versus Godzilla, and it happens here. It's not super in your face. Like, it's not like some friggin' Marx Brothers shit or whatever, where they're just like, mommy.
It's blackface done tastefully is what you're saying. It's done tastefully.
It's done tastefully. I mean, I never really noticed, to be honest. Growing up, I never really noticed. I only noticed as I got older, and I'd had it pointed out to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, they are just Japanese people in blackface. I'm like, I never really thought about it that way. I mean, because it more looks like they've got like a super tan.
Just don't do blackface. That's bad for you.
Yeah, don't the kids out there don't do blackface. Just have regular.
So we are anti-blackfaces. That sounds wrong, though.
Yeah, no. We accept all kinds of faces. I guess. I don't know how to put it. We're digging a hole.
Let's steer back towards the movie. We're just throwing shovels away.
Let's steer back towards the movie, as Marty says, because it's just we're digging a hole here, and it's not our point to do that. Anyway, that's something that happens in the film. Nah, it is what it is. Doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the movie. It's actually a very good movie. It's directed by Ishiro Honda, who did Godzilla. He did King Kong versus Godzilla. He did a personal favorite of mine, Matango, and he did Rodan, and he did many, many other kaiju films. I could go off on a big list, but I'm not going to. I had to stop myself. Stopped at 4. And in this film, you got Furakaki Sake, who plays Sunchiro, who's sort of the chubby guy. They call him a bulldog because he never lets go of a story.
Okay.
He was in a movie called Tokyo Baka Odori, which translates to Tokyo Idiot Dance.
Okay.
They
never taught that one in high school. I learned.
Yeah, I don't know. What a great dance! If you're in high school, folks, and you go to the prom, hey, break out the Tokyo Baka Odori and impress your friends. Impress your friends.
You won't have any by the end of it.
He was also Keiichi in Romance Express.
Okay.
Ooh.
So he plays kind of a fun character. In this movie, you also have Hiroshi Kozumi, who plays Dr. Shinichi Chujo. He was also in Mothra versus Godzilla and Ghidra, the three-headed monster, of course, playing Professor Miru. And he was also Dr. Shinchi Chujo in Godzilla Tokyo SOS, which is a more recent Godzilla film.
Okay.
In this movie, you also have Kyoko Kayagawa, who was Ichiko Mima in The Family, and Fujiko Natsumi in Tokyo Rendezvous. Ooh. Sounds sexy.
It does.
Doesn't it, you guys?
It does.
Who doesn't want to have a Tokyo Rendezvous?
Marty, bucket list.
Guys, Marty,
I thought you'd be annoyed if I got with an Asian woman. So you're giving me permission to meet a chicken?
I'll cut her.
Marty, Jen, what if you guys kissed at Tokyo Tower? Ooh.
That'd be cool.
Just as Godzilla's like, fuck you too.
That'd be our luck.
And of course, in this film, playing the twin fairies, I would be remiss if I did not mention them. You got Yumi Ito and Emi Ito, the Peanuts guys. Musical superstars, pop sensation, the Peanuts.
I heard about this, or maybe Christian told me. I heard about them. Yeah, they were a big thing.
Yeah, they were incredibly popular at the time. They even made it over to America. They were on like Ed Sullivan and shit.
Oh,
cool. They turned up on a bunch of American late night talk shows and stuff back in the 60s.
Very cool.
Do they have anything to do with Charlie Brown?
No, it's I don't know why they called themselves. I don't know why they called themselves the Peanuts, but yeah, no, they were identical twins, and which is very rare in Japan, which is why they have twins in the movie. In the movie, they're not only small fairies, but they're twins. Because in Japanese culture, it's so rare that it's said that there have magical, mystical abilities in folklore. So that's
cool.
Which later on in the newer Mothra films, in the Rebirth series, they sort of do have magical, mystical powers. I mean, in this, they have this whole telepathy thing with Mothra, which is kind of cool, where Mothra can sense them and is homing in on them. Like like a lost cell phone or something.
See, when you said honing in on them, I went somewhere else. Okay.
No,
it's dirty little twins. Ethel, dirty little twins.
No, they're innocent. They're innocent little twins, and they're like I don't know what you call it. They're like basically they're I don't know what you call it, messiahs no, they're emissaries. They're emissaries of Mothra, essentially.
Like the Silver Surfer, the Herald of Galactus. They're representatives of like Mothra. And they're like, yeah, stop polluting the planet or our giant butterfly.
Well, that doesn't mean in their off hours they couldn't be dirty, filthy little twins who Mothra has a honing in time with. I mean, why can't you know?
Oh, no!
Only Dan could create this scenario.
Remember what we were talking about earlier, Jen? This is what I'm talking about. Okay?
But you said just with that, this is something totally different.
This is why we can't have any nice things or nice friends, okay? They're going to get tired of us.
No, we won't.
So back to the plot of the movie. The plot of the movie is they go to investigate this island with the natives that aren't supposed to be there because the island, before they did tests, they said the island was virtually uninhabited. And if you think about that, virtually uninhabited, well, that would mean that somebody lives there, just not very many people. So
Yeah.
already it kind of seems suspect. Like, okay, as long as it's not a bunch of people, I guess we can irradiate their home. Sure.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's whatever. Like, cool. Nuke the island. It's great.
They're only real people if there's more than 10, right? They only count as real people if there's more than 10.
Yeah, it's anything. I think it's anything less than a baker's dozen, and they don't count.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
So they go to the island to investigate, and they find that the island has freakishly large plants and apparently vampire plants, which are these vine things that grab you and they try to strangle you. And I don't know how they're vampires. They don't seem to be sucking anybody's blood, but they strangle you.
Okay, cool.
Why call them vampires? Why not just call them Venus
erotic
flytraps?
asphyxiation plants. That doesn't have the same tone, though. It doesn't, because it's more like if they're going to strangle you, it'd be more erotic asphyxiation.
What David Carradine plants? I don't know.
But the professor gets trapped by one of these plants, and it's strangling him. And because they're on this island, they're all wearing these silver radiation suits, and they have a special alarm on the suits in case they should get into trouble. So the alarm starts going off, and he discovers that the sound of the alarm attracts the twin fairies. And just before he passes out, he sees the twin fairies, the twin beauties, as it translates to the Shobijin, twin beauties. And of course, they disappear before the others come and rescue him. He explains that he saw two little girls, and they're like, little girls? Which he's like, no, not children, just really short women, like a foot high. Okay, cool.
Oh, like dwarves.
Like super dwarves, Frank.
Yes.
Trenchy, think of vintage Star Wars figures, like 3 3/4 inch figures, maybe even smaller.
Oh, that's like a mega dwarf.
They're roughly the size of a modern Barbie doll.
Somebody would try to get their dick into it, though.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm sorry. I had to say it. I just couldn't. I'm sorry.
So, suffice it to say, everybody in the expedition thinks that he imagined it, and he sets out to find them again, triggering his alarm on purpose. and then they show up and everybody sees them. And the guy who's in charge of the whole expedition, Mr. Nelson, who all right, not a very Japanese name, but okay, he's an evil man, and he wants to take them with him. And of course, the natives aren't having this, and they all show up with spears. So he promptly puts them down. They retreat. They come back again later. Mr. Nelson does, and of course he brings people with guns, and he abducts the Mothra twins, and then they just start gunning down natives during their escape. Just not good. Shouldn't be doing that. And they take.
Maybe they were upset about the blackface, Ethel. Maybe they were upset about the blackface.
Well, that's still no way that they still shouldn't steal one of the figureheads of their religion. That's not right. And of course, we discover.
They should have just lectured them.
Huh?
Yeah.
What, Trench?
I said they should have just lectured them if they were upset.
Yeah, but then I'd rather just get shot than get a lecture. I'm just like, fuck it. Just let's save everyone a lot of time. Blow away.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So after they leave the island, we discover that the natives are worshiping a giant egg, which is cool. This is why I chose this movie to close out the month, because of Easter. Giant egg. And what's inside this egg? Well, it's not a giant chicken. It's a friggin' giant caterpillar.
Ooh.
And that caterpillar is Mothra, who promptly leaves the island in search of the twins, who have been taken back to Japan and put on display for their singing ability. And yeah, it's kind of weird. They have them in this flying carriage thing that gets flown over the audience by a wire, and the twins go along with it instead of just running, trying to escape. I don't know why you wouldn't just try to escape. You run to the crowd.
Get money?
They don't get any money, but Mr. Nelson and his cohorts make quite a bit of money off them.
Oh, okay.
And of course,
Tell us
Japan.
what we got.
And of course, Japan can't do a damn thing because Mr. Nelson is a citizen of the fictional country of Rolisica.
Rolisica.
I
like that. Well, that might be just a new gen word. Rolisica.
Rolisica. A combination, which seems to be in a combination of Romania and America. I don't know.
Fucking nightmare world does that country exist?
Because there were vampire plants in it earlier, so we're tying that together?
Like maybe they left the vampire plants on Beirut Island, aka Infant Island. I don't know why they changed the name in the movie. They change it back to Infant Island in every single movie following this that features Mothra. It's just this one movie. They're like, oh no, it's Beirut Island. Wait, why?
Well, Infant Island gives kind of a, you could take that in many connotations. So I can kind of maybe see Infant Island. I'd be like, what are we doing? Infants on an island? Okay. It doesn't bode well, Ethel. It just doesn't bode well.
Infant Island, the sweet, childish island that's irradiated and full of killer plants and a giant moth.
Maybe we're moving where small girls are being kidnapped. The prospect of their location being called Infant Island is a bit...
Yeah, see, I was going more in that
problematic.
direction. That's where I was going. I was thinking like a Serbian kind of thing.
No, I was about her. Jesus, Mitchell, come on, I love you to bits. But
that's where my mind was going, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why is it Jen's talent that she can connect almost every movie to Serbian film? It's disturbing, but also impressive.
It made an impression on her. Um, so anyway, the reporter, the bulldog, and his photographer friend, Michi Hanamura, they go after the twin fairies, as you do when you're a photographer and a reporter on the heels of a hot story. They do. They know it's not right. They think the fairies should be free. This is modern slavery, and God damn it, we can't stand it. How dare they be forced to perform their musical talents? And oh, that's the other thing, is they think the song is just pretty, but it's actually them summoning Mothra to come and save them.
Okay, that's clever.
Mothra makes her way across the ocean, promptly destroying boats on her way to Japan, and landing on Japan, starts trashing the city on a straight line towards the fairies to save them. And Mr. Nelson is trying to get away with them. They won't let them escape. They've been the photographer and the reporter try to free them. Nothing doing. They can't seem to get them free. And it takes a showdown between them and Mr. Nelson and Mothra to even get them free. And then it's like, what can you do? You know, Mothra's been cornered by the military, cocooned herself on Tokyo Tower, and turned into a giant moth finally. And it's just
it's one thing I remember. One thing I remember with this movie was I was a bit disappointed on initial watching, because for the majority of the movie, isn't Mothra in her larval stage?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to see her flying around, but no, she's mainly this kind of little, I don't know, caterpillar maggoty yolk, like fucking swimming and brushing stuff. Still cool, but I was like, where's the moth? Yeah, I was just like, I don't know.
Well, they make you wait till the last half of the last quarter of the film before you finally get Mothra. But when you do, boy, is it worth it. The it's not even a suit. The puppet that they've made for Mothra looks awesome.
That is. I watched the behind the scenes of the making of that, and the rod puppets, the Japanese puppeteers. Jesus Christ! Like they did, like everything was just done in such fantastic sync. It was just like, to make it look like, for a movie back in '61, to make it look so organic that it looked like an actual creature. That was like fucking superb.
Yeah, and they did the flying puppeteer trick. The puppeteering, the flying motion is basically they had the wings suspended by two cranes, and they lifted it up and down to make the wings go like this. So it had a great effect. It looks great.
Yeah.
Cool.
But moving on, they figure it out that Mothra isn't just some mindless monster, and it isn't just trying to rescue the fairies. Mothra is almost like a deity. I mean, she is a god to these natives. It could be debated whether or not she is a monster that just is worshipped as a god, or is actually some kind of nature god. It's sort of left up to your own interpretation. She has a special symbol that looks suspiciously similar to a cross. They use church bells to summon her, and they take paint and they paint her symbol on a runway so that they can attract her and have her land so they can return the fairies to her, which is pretty impressive looking sequence. I know the trucks may look a little not real, but hey, it's pretty cool. It looks cool. See you painting the runway. Yeah, I mean it's a kaiju movie. You gotta expect models.
If that was me, I just would have made a giant porch light. That's just me. Just a porch light or something, or just like she starts battling into the bulb over and over. This doesn't work.
They overthought this. They just need a giant light bulb.
Yeah.
Or a zapper.
Or
Jesus.
or like
shit.
or like a bunch of those little sticky boxes you put in your cupboards.
Yeah. Glue traps, yeah.
But no. So that happens, and then of course the fairies are free. They travel back with Mothra to Infant Island, and as they're flying away, they're invited back. They're invited back. Come back again.
Okay.
As you
yeah.
do, Japan. As you do.
Do they accept the invitation? Do they go, gee, thanks? Or do they go, hey, motherfuckers?
Well, actually, in another film, not the next one in the series featuring Mothra. I think that's the next. No, maybe the next one is. I'm getting them out of order. The next film that features Mothra is either Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster, which I think it almost is, or it's Mothra versus Godzilla. I can't rightly remember. I think it's Mothra versus Godzilla. But one of the two films is the next one in line, and I can't for the life of me remember. But in Ghidra, the Three-Headed Monster, the twin fairies are in Japan, and they're performing of their own volition on a TV show.
They sold out.
Yeah, they're on a TV show called Where Are They Now?
Look, I'm going to be honest. The twins' music is good, but no song in the Toho verse beats the song to summon King Caesar. That woman on the beach for a good 6.5 minutes singing to a big giant hairy dog in a mountain. That's fantastic. Caesar,
Yeah.
Caesar. I love that fucking song.
Leading King Caesar, or King Caesar, depending on how you want to pronounce it. In the English dub, it's Caesar.
Caesar.
King Caesar.
Ethel, which one has the twins translating what Godzilla, is it Anguirus he's fighting with, or Rodan? And they're like, oh, Godzilla, such language.
Yeah, that would be Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster. The twin fairies translate Mothra, and they translate Mothra, and they translate Godzilla and Rodan, because they're all having a meeting, and Mothra is trying to convince them to join forces and fight Ghidra to save mankind. And Godzilla says some choice words that we're not privy to, because the twin fairies don't want us to repeat that. And Rodan's just making the point that humans hate them. Why should we save them?
Godzilla is like, shut up, you pterodactyl dick-headed fuck. I ain't fucking. That's what the twins don't want to say. That's what he said.
What? The monsters actually talk, like you can hear them talk, like in the other movie.
They growl and they roar, and the twins translate what they're saying.
Because they speak fluent kaiju, because they're always communicating with Mothra.
Very cool.
But that's in a different movie. But it was pretty cool. It's a fun scene. I like it. What language? Oh!
That's a brilliant scene as well. I like Mothra. Is Mothra the only? Well, obviously there's Space Godzilla and stuff, but Mothra's one of the few kaiju that has kind of an evil doppelganger in the form of Batara. Mothra, yes. Batara. I love Batara.
Yeah, many years later in the 90s, they had Mothra, or no, it's Godzilla versus Mothra, a flip side of Mothra versus Godzilla, where they pit them against each other again, and Batra is in the mix, and it's an evil version of Mothra. An evil-looking caterpillar with horns emerges, and then turns into an evil-looking butterfly bat thing.
Mothra! Mothra! I remember watching that movie on Bravo at my aunt and uncle's, and that was my first proper kind of, because I saw the original Mothra movie later on, but that was my first introduction to Mothra, and I just loved every couple of minutes some character would be like, Mothra! Mothra! Oh, it's like it was like people are like, Jesus Christ, lads, calm down.
It's great that in that movie, Mothra drops a giant Ferris wheel on Godzilla. It's pretty cool.
Yay!
And she's got lasers in that movie. She's got laser antennas.
Pretty
Don't
badass.
But in this movie, no laser antennas. Fun facts about this film. This film, the Mothra larva suit, costume, whatever you want to call it, part suit, part puppet. It was the largest costume ever created by Toho in the Showa era. That would be the era from 1926 to 1989. If in Japanese time, that's Showa time. It was the largest ever created by Toho. It was 7 feet tall and 31 feet long, and it weighed 265 pounds.
Jesus.
So, was there like some non-Japanese dude inside that literally doing the worm to try and move?
Well, you know what I think it is I think it was done like those Chinese dragon things you see at.
So the rod puppets are a couple of people inside it.
Okay.
And they're moving around. It makes it look like it's because it's 7 feet tall, so you got to have so somebody could stand fully upright inside it.
That makes sense.
And the Mothra prop we see in the water is a different one, of course. It's only 3 feet long, but it had a motorcycle engine in it that allowed it to move through the water.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Another fun thing about this film, at the time, this film had the most detailed and intricate miniatures out of any Toho production at the time. Nearly exact replicas of the Dojinzaka, Shibuya, and Kaido neighborhoods in Tokyo were built at 1/20th scale for Mothra to trash and thrash and sort of bumble through.
Okay. All that work just to get it.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's pretty impressive that they actually took and like these models were so detailed and accurate that they look like if you lived in those neighborhoods and you were watching this film, you could swear that was like just down the street from where you live or work. That's how accurate it was for a model. The attention to detail is amazing, and the scene when Mothra's full grown and she's blowing shingles off of the buildings, and the buildings look really good. They look really real. I can't say much for like the little trucks, the little mazer trucks and the little Jeeps, but
nobody's perfect.
Nothing's perfect. You can suspend your disbelief. I mean, you have to. We've got a 150-foot frickin' moth flying around trashing a city. You got to suspend disbelief somewhere. Another fun fact, circling to the world of horror, Guillermo, I can't even pronounce his name.
Guillermo del Toro.
What you said. Del Toro.
Yeah.
He's a huge fan of this film.
Yeah, I knew that.
Guillermo. Why can't I? Usually I'm good with Spanish. It's all the Japanese.
The dude from Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy.
That fella.
Shape of Water.
Another fun fact about this film: this was the most expensive film Toho has ever made. The most expensive film ever made in Japan, in fact, at the time. It cost 200 million yen, which is equivalent to 1,080,336,539 yen, which is 8,410,559 in the United States.
Jesus.
Spared no expense.
Jesus.
Okay. So another fun and somewhat dangerous fact: Mothra's silk that she spits and spins in this movie, it was actually made by dissolving a rubber paste with lacquer thinner and spraying this hot rubber paste through an airbrush nozzle that was put in the puppet's mouth, and it's very dangerous because if you got in the way of this and you got it on your skin, it would burn your skin.
I believe it.
So
some dude with a facial scar. What happened? Mothra attacked me. Fuck.
Yeah. So like, you got to think about the suit performers. Anytime you see these old Showa movies with Mothra in it, where you see like Godzilla getting the silk spun on him, like in Mothra versus Godzilla, that's this same stuff. So the only thing protecting that suit actor is the suit. If he did not have that suit on, he would be in big trouble. World of pain.
It's show business.
Oh yeah. One of the reasons this had such a big budget is Columbia Pictures agreed to release and help finance the film as long as Toho would do a few things for them. One of the few things that they requested was they wanted Mothra to attack a non-Japanese city, which is why we have the fictional country of Rolisica. And the fictional city of Newkirk City.
Well,
Not as fun to say.
the city is fictional, but it looks exactly like a city in Japan.
Oh no, Trench. They had Japanese cities because Mothra does go to Japan, but also goes to Rolisica.
My bad.
No, you're good. I just wanted to clarify that. Of course, the Rolisican cities are just, made up cities so they can look like whatever they want.
Rolisica.
The city in Newkirk, does that have like the Statue of Liberation? Or like, the Chrysler building? The Chrysler building, I don't know.
You'd think they'd work in the Columbia logo instead of the Statue of Liberty for that, huh?
Missed opportunity.
Another fun cool little fact. 2 years before this movie, or excuse me, 3 years. 3 years before this movie was made, Tokyo Tower was constructed and finished. Which, if you guys don't know, is a huge broadcasting tower. Many different TV stations and radio stations have satellite dishes and antennas on this tower, and they broadcast their programming and their signals off this thing. And it's a big deal. It's very big. It's one of the biggest structures in Tokyo at the time. It was really cool. Kind of a symbol of Japan, if you will. Anyway, it had been made 3 years before production of this film, and the decision was made that they would have Mothra make a cocoon on it, which the crew was really excited about because that meant they got to make a miniature model of Tokyo Tower and completely destroy it.
Yay!
So they were excited about that, and Originally, Mothra wasn't even supposed to spin the cocoon on Tokyo Tower. That was like a last-minute decision in production. Originally, she was supposed to spin her cocoon on the Diet Building, but they changed it to Tokyo Tower, and eventually she would spin a cocoon on the Diet Building in 1992 when Godzilla versus Mothra came out, where she does just that. For those of you that don't know, the Diet Building is basically where Japan holds Congress.
I thought it was something else. I thought, are we giving a message of weight loss?
Yeah, no, this isn't like Japanese Weight Watchers where they all get in there and they get Richard Simmons coming in with his deal a meal. No.
Okay.
So, Ethel, was this the first Toho movie to officially make shit of Tokyo Tower? Because then it became a running tradition of just Godzilla sees Tokyo Tower. He's like, fuck you, Tokyo Tower. Fucking Ghidorah sees Tokyo Tower. Fuck you, Tokyo Tower. Just Tokyo Tower done something to piss off every kaiju in every movie. That building has to be made shit of in one way or another. Usually. I don't know, but so that Mothra was the first one to level the place, right?
Yeah, Mothra was the first one to level the place. I think the second monster to maybe not level it but damage it significantly was King Kong and Robot Kong in King Kong Escapes.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, I gotta see that.
Oh, Trench, you're gonna love it. Of course, Robot Kong created and designed to be superior to the original King Kong in every way, and skillfully created by the fiendish and evil Doctor Who. But anyway, I digress. That is a different movie, which we'll get into that at some point. Maybe we'll do a Sci-Fi Sunday on King Kong, from King Kong versus Godzilla, and King Kong Escapes, which is the same King Kong. That's kind of cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, so the Diet Building, it gets taken out in 1992, and it just narrowly gets taken out in this film. Some sort of political statement Ishiro Honda was trying to make there, I'm sure, but Tokyo Tower is a fitting statement too, television, the media, let's trash that.
Whee!
So yeah, I've mentioned before, and I'm gonna mention it again. The Peanuts, popular pop duo. They did their song. They acted in this movie. Godzilla mainstay and frequent composer Akira Ifukube. He was supposed to score this film, but he actually declined doing it because he wasn't comfortable working with the Peanuts because they were so popular and they were such big names. He was kind of nervous, so he didn't want to work with them. He eventually would work with them, but he declined this film because of the nerves, because this was at the height of their popularity.
Were they divas, Ethel? Were they kind of divas, or were they nice?
They were nice. They were super nice. They were sweet girls. They were big. They were popular. Like, I don't know how to equate it to today's standards. I don't know who's a really nice musician that you could bump into that's super popular.
Ed Sheeran?
Yeah. There you go.
I guess.
Fuck you all. I like Ed.
The man looks like a teddy bear, Jen. He looks like someone mutated a teddy bear to a human being in some horrible fucking experiment. But I digress.
But yeah, so he would work with them in Mothra versus Godzilla, but he was too nervous in this film, and he honestly missed an opportunity because they're super nice. Just work with them. They'd be wonderful. You'd enjoy it.
Yeah. Very cool.
But, no, it's a great film. I think it's probably out of all the Toho films, this would be in my top 5.
It's
You know,
yeah, it's I like the Mothra movies because it's nice to see a kaiju who isn't like just out to fucking smash stuff. It's you know she always had a positive message. It was always kind of a environmental positive message. Not that the other ones didn't have a message as well, but it was more of a kind of benevolent kind of message in the movie she appeared in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and later on in Mothra versus Godzilla, you know, they have hold of Mothra's egg and they refuse to give it back to the citizens of Infant Island and the Twin Fairies, who plead with them, please give us back our egg, and they won't do it. And then Godzilla attacks, and they want help. They want Mothra's help. And at first they refuse, and then then they plead for Mothra's help, and Mothra eventually decides to help them, even though they basically told her fuck off, like not that long ago. So, a very benevolent creature that will fight for you, even if you steal her shit and don't give it back.
In
Radiator Island,
the later movies, did Mothra always have a thing where she died, but like at some stage in the movie she laid an egg? So it's usually the original Mothra dies and then her infant kind of takes over, takes the mantle. That kind of became a trend as well with the movies, right?
Yeah, it's basically a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of thing. There's always a Mothra egg, and there's almost always a Mothra adult. And the Mothra adult will die in the fight, usually, only to have an egg hatch almost immediately after. And in Mothra versus Godzilla, you don't get just one Mothra larva when Mothra dies. You get 2.
Ooh! For the price of one.
Fucking twins, twin Mothra larvae. It's great.
Very cool.
Truly powerful kaiju, and at the time the only female kaiju.
At the time, there comes later a female one.
Yeah, later on down the line we get female kaiju, but not very many. But this is the most notable one. You know, because in Gappa there's a for Gappa, even though that's not a Toho movie, but that is Japanese. That is a kaiju.
I kind of know the answer before I already ask, but you've seen the newer kind of MonsterVerse movies, and I'm guessing you don't like the fact that somehow Mothra mates with Godzilla. What's your thoughts on that?
To quote Howard the Duck, this breaks all the rules of nature. Yeah.
What? Mothra and Godzilla?
Fuck!
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that even work?
Pretty
I
much
haven't
like
seen that.
works.
And this is why I only watch the new King Kong movies.
Mothra just took a header. Ah!
Oh,
Marty, movie, don't worry.
You could just see Rodan busting in on them and Godzilla quickly covering up Mothra. It's not what you think. We're just really, really good friends.
You sick bastard.
Do they have a kid or anything? Does their union bring forth a child?
It makes more powerful Godzilla.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He gets like that. He gets post mystical kaiju sex energy.
Do they show the romance? Do they show Godzilla whining and dining? I'd watch that movie.
They go out. They go out to a quiet little giant cafe on an irradiated island somewhere and look longingly into each other's eyes, sipping fine wines and eating delicious exotic cheeses. No.
Oh,
I'd watch that movie.
Yes.
is there anything you like about the new Mothra, or is it just not your thing?
All right, like I grew up watching this movie. This was one of the first kaiju films I owned on good old VHS. I still have it, in fact. I still have this movie on VHS. I have it on DVD as well, but I still have this on VHS. It was one of the first movies I owned that was a kaiju film. And it's very special to me. And Mothra is next to Godzilla is my absolute favorite kaiju, my favorite monster. She's cool, and she's not evil. She's not menacing, and she's friggin' immortal, which is kind of badass. And to see what they did to her in these movies, she doesn't even look like a moth half the time. She looks like this weird praying mantis thing, and she's got like, I don't know, praying mantis.
She has a barbed tail as well. She uses the barbed tail to take out Rodang.
Yeah, and it's just, that's not Mothra. That's not Mothra. I don't know what they've created, but it ain't Mothra. And she's not even Mothra's not supposed to be blue. I mean, unless you count Mothra Leo from the rebirth of Mothra, Mothra's not supposed to be blue.
Blue on this, kind of.
Well, Jen, that's Mothra Leo from the rebirth from the second one.
Okay.
Which, I have an issue with that film because they turned Mothra from a woman to a man. Mothra's a boy in that movie.
Okay, why?
Because let's ruin the concept. I don't know. There's a lot of issues. Like, they're fine films. Rebirth of Mothra's, it's not bad. It's just it's sort of like they forgot what the character and what the concept was, and they went a little too much with it, and a little too many. She has too many abilities in those films. Like, she can go underwater in moth form, and she transforms in moth form into a different form, and it's weird. That's not her skill set, but it is in those movies.
Gotcha.
I mean, in these films, these early Showa era Mothra films, there's kind of an elegance to her powers because she doesn't really have offensive capabilities aside from making a lot of wind and spitting silk and the scales, because she can make scales which just disorient and protect her from attacks. But of course, in doing that, she loses her ability to fly and can eventually die from using that ability. So all her powers in the movies are pretty much defensive powers, with the exception of the silk.
Okay.
Because she's supposed to be a benevolent, peaceful creature. You know?
Okay.
Versus like the likes of Godzilla or Rodan or Ghidra, where they're malevolent creatures most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
All their powers are offensive.
Like the bad boys, if she had a thing, she must like the bad boys. I wish I had one of Jake's Godzillas right now.
And who is the baddest boy of all? Well, it's Godzilla, of course.
I have a thing for them.
I gotta disagree. You want to go with bad boys in kaiju universe? You gotta go with Destroyer. Sorry, That's the only way you can say it.
Oh.
Destroyer!
Destroyer! Destroyer!
Destroyer!
You have to too. Destroyer!
You know that Toho tried copyrighting the word destroyer, but they couldn't, so they have to change it. And I love that. It's like, lads, you can't copyright a word in the English language. Come on, let us, please.
But that sounds cooler anyway.
It's like when certain YouTube stars try to copyright the word react.
Oh yeah, the Fine Brothers. Remember those fucking idiots, the Fine Brothers? Oh.
Yeah, they're still around, but they're not as relevant as they used to be after that debacle. I think they changed the name of their channel.
Yeah, they used to, I remember watching them back when they actually did skit comedy type stuff, and they were funny and creative, and then they just started doing these trash react video type things, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Baby, what is you doing? Just no. Stop. Just stop. But hey, it is what it is. I'm one to talk. They got their thousands of followers. I'm happy over here with my 164 great people. By the way, thank you, new subscribers, for joining me on this fun filled romp that I call 13.
You have way more subscribers. Your stuff is always awesome.
Yeah.
Very much so.
There we go. I was a loading screen for a second. But yeah. Fine Brothers aside, you don't copyright words, guys. Words don't belong to you. And if you're Mothra, don't become a boy, and don't get a bunch of fancy new powers, and then don't turn into a CGI praying mantis moth and mate with Godzilla. It's
I'm okay
a
with
little
that
far from Or do, and then make a parody that Jen and Marty can reluctantly watch.
I should look and see if there's any Godzilla porn. I've never thought to look in that particular direction.
Thanks a lot, Ethel. Thanks a fucking lot.
That's the only
Always
good
here
thing
to
to come out of that situation.
Yeah, I have a question, Marty. Do you suppose like the Godzilla action figures, there would be more of them if, like, when they create them, they have an iPad pop out of Godzilla's back?
Oh, that drives me nuts. I don't know. Why not just put the sticker on the foot? On the foot. Oh.
Like, they started a pattern where it's on the foot, and then they just decided to let's hide it in the back.
It's kind of cool, though.
But you made a good point about the tail. It would if the tooling to make that little pop-up joint would have been better used to make a ball joint in the tail, so the tail, like a Stegosaurus, can swim left and right instead of just going turning upside down. But I digress.
Why does it swim? Maybe that. Oh, Marty, maybe that's how they swim. Their tail spins around like this, like a little propeller.
That's awesome.
I probably shouldn't have pointed that out. I feel like I've ruined it. It's like telling.
It's all right. I think the fucking new guy I got, I love him, but he's like the M1 Garandosaurus. It's like a top-loading rifle. I don't know if you saw at the end of the video, Chris Pratt gets blown away because he tries talking about Jesus to the dinosaur. I don't know.
They heard the good word.
Fun fact, I watched that before I went to work. Like, I literally seconds. Just seconds
What?
after I finished watching that, I had to get up and go to work.
I hope I cheered you up a bit.
I had to-
going into work.
Oh, you did, and I wasn't going to make a comment, but I had to because it's like it looked exactly like an iPad or a Kindle or something. I'm like, what? Why does he have a? Why do they have an electronic device in their back? Why? I don't know. If this was a pre-recorded video I was doing, I would do a thing at the end where I'd animate a fucking cell phone popping out of my back at the end. I don't know. Do it in Photoshop, guys. That's how we do it. It's fine. It's fine. You know, hey, it's their toy. They could make it however they want, I guess. But this movie, getting back to this movie, it is a classic. If you haven't seen it, I don't think I've spoiled it by giving you a rundown of the plot because it's actually a lot deeper than I make it out to be, and it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's very visually entertaining. And you've got some great characters, and you've got a funny scene where a mouse gets stuck in Bulldog's pant leg, and it's kind of awkward.
Okay.
Don't worry though, no Richard Gere action going on. It's innocent.
No gerbils.
No gerbils. No gerbils. No gerbil. It's the little mouse. Little mouse.
Lemmykins. Lemmywinks.
Lemmywinks. You gotta talk to the Sparrow Prince.
Jesus, I forgot about that episode.
The Sparrow Prince and the Frog King. Lemmywinks. They're not.
Is it Paris Hilton that goes up there?
Yes.
Big gay ass, and that's where she finds Jesus.
Yeah, it is. That would be Paris Hilton. That's totally hot, I guess.
Which, of course, guys, South Park, not above doing a Godzilla reference themselves. Of course, they had Mecha Streisand.
Yep. That was one of their. I don't know if that was their first episode. It was in the first season. It was one of their earlier episodes. I remember that.
Yeah, I think it was the 4th or 5th episode.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
it was very-
remember the earliest.
Was it your band from The Cure, the lead singer?
Yep.
The Cure that
Yeah,
turned
it
into
was.
Mothra. The Mothra kind of.
Yeah, it was.
And of course, not to be outdone, there's a Mothra reference in, I think it's Sonic X.
Okay, cool.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
Also, another Mothra Godzilla reference. There's an episode of The Simpsons where the Simpsons go to Japan, and they're on an airplane, and their flight's going to be delayed due to Godzilla, and there is Mothra there as well. So there's fun reference.
They made it big time.
Made it big time. It is what it is, guys. It's when you get popular, you start seeping into every facet of pop culture in other countries, and I don't know. I'm glad Mothra is popular enough to be featured in the legendary film, even though they did weird things with her and made her get it on with Godzilla. Guys, have you any other thoughts about this film? I know you haven't seen it. Trench Jen, have you seen this movie?
I have with Sparky, but it's been a while. I'm not near as now. I really wish, like, this is. I wish Sparky had been here because he could have peppered in all kinds of comments. He knows. He's like an encyclopedia when it comes to this stuff. Jake knows quite a bit too. I've seen a few, and I know I've seen that one with Christian. It's cute. They're not my thing. If I'm going to be honest, these aren't really my thing. But I have an appreciation for them, and like you say, the skill, like how they did the, the flying scene and all that. I mean, it still holds up even with all the technologies we have. I think that, it's a testament, it's a craft. So I have an appreciation for it. They're really not my thing, if I'm going to be completely honest, but I have an appreciation for them.
All right. And Marty, what are your thoughts on this film? Like specifically,
I like it. In the tier of Toho movies, it wouldn't be as high as Godzilla vs. Mothra, but that movie, Godzilla vs. Mothra, would probably be number 3 for me for nostalgia purposes. I'd put this at number 5. The original Godzilla is definitely number 1, and I've a couple other weird ones, like the Godzilla vs. Destroyer is number 2, and Godzilla vs. Biollante will be number 4. So she's up there with my favorites. Her standalone adventure would be up there with my favorites.
Very cool.
And Trench, I know you haven't seen this film specifically, but I know you've seen one of the films featuring Mothra. I know we're still not sure which one it is, but what are your thoughts on the character and stuff?
I thought she was cool, and I like how she's not really like, she'll fight, but she's not like Godzilla, who just like when he's bored is like, let's go destroy a city and shit. Like, she tries to stop the fights, and she's kind of like the mother for all the monsters, and that's interesting. And I also liked her parody in, or not really parody, but her version in Monsters vs. Aliens, because they cover all the different monsters. You have the Blob and stuff, and they had a version of her in the movie. And you think she's a male for most of the movie, but in the end, when she turns into a butterfly, you find out she's a female. So that was cool. She's a very good character. Also, John had a question for Marty earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt. And Car had a question too, but we already covered it. But John wanted to know if Marty had any kaiju figures.
I have 2 Shin Godzillas. I've this NECA one, and I've the old school kind of hollow Bandai one, and I have Ethel. What's the one where fucking Godzilla goes blue? He goes blue and he goes nuclear. Fuck it, I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Another NECA one. What?
Where he turns orange, the burning Godzilla.
Yeah, I think I've him. I've him. So I've 3 in total. I'd love to get more. That's the one thing that pisses me off. NECA have done a shitload of Godzilla figures, but like, you've got Biollante, you've got fucking Destroyer, you've got Mothra, you've got fucking Batara. You've got so many other figures, but they keep on churning out different versions of Godzilla. I do understand it's very easy just to change the head and the tail and keep the fore body, because that's the main part, but fucking mix things up, because I want my Biollante figure, and I don't want to pay €500 for a fucking Biollante figure.
It's huge, though. It is huge. It's like this big.
He's big. He's a big motherfucker, but yeah.
It's a lot of money, though. That's so much money, and like, this is why the only Godzilla figures I have is the old made in Hong Kong, not official Godzilla, the rip-off version of Godzilla of that one, and the Hallmark Christmas ornament Godzilla. because the rest of them are so damn expensive. It's like it's hard for me to justify it. Eventually, I will break and I will get one of the big expensive ones, but it's hard for me to pull the trigger. It's so expensive.
If you do, and I know it's usually my wheelhouse, but if you do get a big expensive Godzilla figure, will you do a video? Will you do a showcase video?
Absolutely will. Because what I want to do is when I finally get one, I want to get one that's super posable, so I can pose it in all the things and have it come with the radiation blast.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna fucking try and get a job lot of Godzilla figures, and if I get spares, I'll send you some.
Well, I'll have to send you something for that, Marty. I can't accept.
No. You're grand. No. We're friends. Fucking ages. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Does anyone else think it looks? Jen looks like she's wearing glasses, or is that just me? Am I going mad?
It's the sparkliness combined with the velvety kaleidoscope lighting.
I don't know what it is. I got this sexy librarian thing, like fucking just I don't know. It genuinely looks like you're wearing glasses. I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up.
But just imagine it, guys. They finally meet up and they get into that sort of role play thing, and it's like, tell me about my late fees again, Jen. Tell me how much. Oh, I don't know how I can pay you.
Your copy of the Karma Sutra turned up.
Scott and John agree with you, Marty. So it's not just you.
It's the sparkliness.
Ah, damn it, Tara.
I highly recommend checking this movie out. It holds up. It's got some wonderful messages in it. If you pay attention to what they're saying and what's going on, there's some deep messages. And I guess the overall thing is don't nuke islands and don't steal people's emissaries to their mystical kaiju deities, because it's just going to end in trouble and you're going to barely make it out alive. And just don't do it. It's not very nice.
And no blackface.
And no blackface. Stop that.
And no kidnapping little girls.
That's bad.
Okay.
Kidnapping little girls in blackface.
Or genocide.
1960s Japan, you're on warning.
Well, considering some of the other things they've done, Ethel.
Oh gosh, I'm not even going to bring up some of the things they did in World War II.
Yeah. But
anyway, wonderful film. Ishiro Honda, the master, the unquestioned master of kaiju films. Who hands down, nobody can mess with that title.
I hope you do another one, Ethel, because like I said, Sparky would have been perfect for this one. He would have had so much information and he would have brought a lot to the table. I hope we do another one of these one day.
It's a shame. It's a shame that April ends on Saturday and not Sunday, because you could have done Mecha King Khan for April. But another time.
Yeah. I thought about it, but the Easter influence is heavy with me this year. I'm still trying to push out my Go Ape in April video, and I hopefully I can get it out before the end of the month. Which brings me to something. Trenchy did a great Go Ape in April video. If you want to check it out, everybody watching, he did Mighty Joe Young. You can check it out. And this isn't the official Go Ape in April video, but I am gonna say pass it along. With the hashtag # Go Ape in April. Tag your friends. Tag your family, tag your mom, tag your daddy, tag your cousin and your auntie too. Have them talk about their favorite ape movie. Doesn't have to be King Kong. Doesn't have to be Planet of the Apes. Any movie with monkeys will do. Talk about it. Say why you like it.
Playmate of the Apes is a great one to go with. Playmate of the Apes.
Talk about schlock. Talk about Project X. Talk about Dunstan checks in. Any which way you can. Any which way but
loose.
Congo.
Oh,
Congo. Talk about Son of Kong. Talk about the original Mighty Joe Young. Talk. There's so many ape movies. Don't make a monkey out of me, making me list them all. You can think of your own.
I love Congo. Some of the best worst lines delivered. Stop eating my sesame cake. I love that. And the lost city of Zinj.
You can't. Can you name another movie that gives us Ernie Hudson? It gives us Jesus Christ. Every time I try to list people's names.
There's a badass laser.
It gives us Bruce Campbell, Ernie Hudson, gives us Tim Curry, it gives us Joe Don Baker, all in the same film, and it gives us a monkey that is in love with a human being and communicates its love with a talking backpack and sign language.
Bad gorilla. Stan Winston actually came out and said he was not happy with that because the apes did not look well. He said the best effect in that was the hippopotamus he made, but he was terribly disappointed with the apes.
Amy want naked hug.
Bestiality, yay!
Hug.
Isn't it bestiality since we came from monkeys? I mean, isn't it like a second cousin or something? Wouldn't it be more like that?
No,
what the fuck is going on? That doesn't make it.
It's still bestiality, Ben. We can't make the alien excuse like we did with Howard the Duck on that one.
I love that movie though. Delroy Lindo, his tiny role as that warlord. Stop eating my sesame cake.
Terrific. So, we got some April left. So put some ape in it. That's my push for Go Ape in April so far, just in case my video doesn't come out on time. And this is.
I was just asking for a friend.
I don't know if that excuse works. That's like, I was just holding it for a friend. It's not mine excuse.
What kind of fucking sandwich action you planning for us at some fucking stage, huh? I'm not taking you to the fucking zoo, that's for sure now.
Whee!
You're good, Brian.
Amy want bestiality cuddles.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Call me bad gorilla.
Someone shot Harambe. Now Harambe wants to fucking shoot me in the face. Ah, fuck.
Or on the tits.
You know what they say, guys? Dick's out for Harambe.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Jen, I swear you're a bad influence on me. Look at what you got me doing here.
Probably am. It usually is my fault.
Now that I've sufficiently corrupted my innocent Mothra stream, we'll go wind things down a little bit, and I'm gonna give everybody a chance to pimp their things, as it were, and I'm gonna go with the person to the right of me, as I usually always do, clockwise, of course. Trench, what's going on, buddy? What do we got to look forward to? What's going down in the world? Are we going to look forward to any lords or any rings or any kind of watch-alongs?
Why is this still relevant?
We hit a nerve, didn't we, Trench?
Oh, you're good. Probably not. I don't know what's happening, but I'll probably be over here next week. I don't know where else I'll be or what will be happening. Things will happen when they happen.
Excellent. Excellent answer. Very much the Zen answer, as Jen's mentioned. Marty, what's the next thing? What's the next thing that's coming out on the Trash Picture Show?
Okay, so Tuesday is Alien Day, LV428 Day, and I'm going to be doing my top favorite species or subspecies of xenomorph and the complete alien timeline, and I'll probably be also buying more Jurassic World Dominion figures, putting my money back into my job, and yeah, I'll be reviewing dinosaurs with hidden Apple products in their body, so like, you know, check that out if you want. They're going to have concealed laptops and iPads and shit coming out of their arse and dicks and just, you know, usual stuff. Yes, ooh. Yes, Jen, yes.
I might have to start getting me some freaking dinosaurs. Okay, cool.
Jen, what's the next thing that you got digging up from the grave?
You know, as hopefully my partner will be back here in a couple of weeks, and we'll be able to get back into production a little bit more heavy. We've got some ideas coming around, but we'll probably be doing Tales from the Crypt. Might be doing a couple of other videos, just kind of fast and loose until Sparky gets. Not a lot. Probably the only thing I can guarantee you guys is another Tales from the Crypt episode in our Tales from the Crypt retrospective. Not much else probably until Spark gets back, but hopefully he'll be. I know I've been saying this for like 3 months, but any day now. I expect him through the door any day now. So yeah.
And look forward to having him back in action.
I do too. Me too. So
he's a good lad. He's a joy to have around.
You guys just like him because he can sort of keep me kind of a little bit.
Reins in a little bit that we don't go so off the rails. But no, it's great. It's good to see you guys. You have a great I don't know what you call it, rapport with each other. It plays off well.
I thought you were gonna say sexual chemistry.
No, dear God, no.
What? That's your child. You can't say that.
I said earlier on, I'll say it again, we saved that shit for our streams, not other people's, okay?
The 13 Originals LLC does not condone or endorse bestiality, incest, or any other such sexual deviancies that are either permitted or expressly banned by law. The opinions of Jen and Jen's Views of the Grave are their own and subject to any.
But Jen is a good person. She's just misunderstood.
She just,
that's sweet.
She got that wacky sense of humor, and she ain't afraid to go there. And that's where she goes.
I do.
But next up for me, guys, this Friday, if I survive the trials on Tuesday and I make it out alive, with my sanity intact, I will be hosting another watch along because we've already had the off Friday. And I, just like last week, I have screwed up and I have not posted the next 2 movies into the rotation. So what I think I might do is finish off the 2 movies that are still up and start fresh. Because maybe that's what I should do. It's springtime. We'll start with 4 fresh movies. And I guess I'll make the choice right now. This Friday, we're going to do Night Fright. Because that's the next most voted for of the 4 movies. Nobody wants to see Zontar. So you're going to watch Night Fright this Friday. And following that, the not the next Friday, but the Friday after that, we will watch Zontar, the thing from Venus, and you will like it. God damn it. Zontar.
She said Venus, Jen. She said Venus. Okay.
I can't do Soylent Green, Brian. It's not public domain. They'll come and get me.
Ethel, are there any pornos on public domain?
I'm sure there are tons of them.
I'm not coming to that one. I'm not doing any of those.
Most people do, Trenchy. It's okay.
I don't know. You might. You never know until you try, right?
I'm out. Good luck.
So check that out. Check that out Friday, and of course next Sunday. I guess I'm going to be doing Sci-Fi Sunday again, which is cool. So join me for that. What am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about. I'll tell you later. It's going to be a surprise. I'm not making it up. I do know what I'm going to be talking about, but I think I'm going to leave it as a surprise because I already revealed 2 Fridays from now, or 4 Fridays from the next 2 Fridays. So we'll keep that as a surprise. And always, you can give me suggestions. You can vote for movies. You can just talk to me. You can just talk to me by following me. On Twitter and Instagram, mostly on Twitter because I can't seem to access my Instagram at the moment. There's something wrong with the app. It keeps crashing. I don't fucking know. Somebody get the Zuckerberg on the phone. Maybe he can fix it. He's an Android. He'll do it real quick. You know, like Data, putting those plastic isolinear chips back into the computer. So follow me there, vote for things, talk to me, send me lewd pictures and the like. It's okay. I've seen it all before. Boy, have I seen it all before. And yeah, if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. Put a little comment down there. Tell me you like it. Tell me, hey, Mothra's awesome. And if you hate this video, you hate me, you think I just plain suck, you wonder why is this woman on YouTube in the first place? Shut up, you damn broad. You know, give me a thumbs down. Leave me a negative comment. I can take it. It's fine. And if you're a porn bot, continue leaving me your links. I enjoy them immensely, and I know my viewers do too. That being said, I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. We had Kubrick Lover 1972, of course, Brian. We had John Steele. We had Kara, the Master of Fear. We had Ben Grimm. We had Scott Stevens. We had who else did we have? We had we had American Werewolf in New. Huh?
Oh, my bad. I think I'm delayed.
Oh, you okay?
We had Ben Grimm too.
We had Ben Grimm, and anybody I'm forgetting, I sincerely apologize. It is not my intention to neglect you. You're very important to me, and I appreciate your comments. It's just there's a heck of a lot of you. And Brian says he hates me and I suck. It's okay, Brian. I'll do better next time. Still love you, buddy. It's fine. Anyway, thank you. And anybody who was in the chat just lurking and kind of not saying anything, that's okay too. I appreciate the hell out of you. If you're enthused about this video, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. You'll be notified every time it happens. And don't forget to subscribe and follow and hit their bells. Ring all their bells in all the ways they like. Trenchy from the Soulless Trenchcoat. Jen, of course, from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. And Marty, of course, the legendary action figure aficionado, aliens, knowledge base. Wonderful things I could say about Marty, the Trash Picture Show. And yeah, thank you guys. And I will see you next Sunday, and I will see you Friday for fright or for night fright. So yeah, thank you, and sayonara.
Shana Walya.
Step far.
Penis.